Boston. These Suns, who are first in the West, beat the Heat, who are first in the East last night. They were without Jimmy Butler, though, who is dealing with sinuses. Meanwhile, Boston, Jason Tatum's birthday tear, yeah, that continues. He's been on a historic run, putting up 44 against Charlotte in a win. Boston fifth in the East. They have now won, fellas, 14 of their last 16. Stephen A., tell me this. Who's better than Boston in the East right now?
Right now, I can honestly tell you over the last few games, the only team that's really looked better than Boston is the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, again, it's fluid. And so anything could happen over the next few weeks.
Oh, here we go.
But at this moment right now,
Could you stop pivoting?
I'm always joking. I'm always joking because I love saying it's fluid. I love saying it's fluid, but I'm dead serious right now.
We know. Yeah, we know it's fluid. That works for
right.
Stephen A's list, but I don't know about this. Keep going.
But in all seriousness, you can't definitively say anyone looks better than the Celtics right now at this moment because of how they're defending. See, Tatum is on a tear. But if you watch them over the last few games, Jay, they're moving the basketball. They're playing very selfless. Mm-hmm. It's not, okay, Tatum, it's your turn. Now, Jaylen Brown, it's your turn, and we'll throw you a bone here, there, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Theis, or anybody else. It's nothing like that. And give Brad Stevens credit for acquiring this kid White from San Antonio. Give Marcus Smart credit for calling out the team early in the season the way that he did. Give Tatum and Brown credit for getting together, meeting with one another, and basically understanding what they need to do. Give Udoka. This coach, he is a Coach of the Year candidate. He is doing an outstanding job. He's got them playing together. He's got them playing selfless. And if you watch them, this is what makes Brooklyn so interesting. Because Brooklyn, with Kyrie and KD's one-on-one ability, breakdown ability, that seems to be the only way to beat Boston because they recover so quickly. They get out on shooters. They contest everything. And they got quickness. They've got athleticism. They've got some size, particularly on the wings with Brown and Tatum and how they can get out at you. And we know how rough and rugged Marcus Smart, what a piranha he is defensively. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, when you look at Boston right now, so many people are focused on Jason Tatum, and I am too, because he's a star. He's a superstar in the making. Only shoot 43% from the field, like 35% from three-point range. But the brother's spectacular. We know he's special, and we know that Jaylen Brown's been in and out injury-wise. Their signature has been they will shut you down. They defend. And when you look at it from that perspective, even though Milwaukee, Miami, Brooklyn, Philadelphia is right there, we get on Cleveland, we can't sneeze on them. You can't definitively say, oh, Boston has no chance against anybody because they defend. And that's what I'm paying attention to. And right now, I really, really like what I'm seeing from them.
I love what I'm seeing from Boston. And you talk about defensively, we talk about Draymond Green all the time being that missing link for Golden State to go next level. Mm-hmm. Marcus Smart is the Draymond Green for the Boston Celtics. He is their engine. If you watch huddles, he's the one leading the huddles. He's the one saying, get up in them, send them this way. He's communicating. Typically when you're playing defense as a guard, you're big, Al Horford, guys like that, Robert Williams, they're communicating to you. Marcus Smart is the most communicative person on the damn court. So I want to give him his flowers and his credit on top of Jason Tatum and Udoka and Jaylen Brown and the way they play, getting Derek White coming off the bench. I love this team. I just sometimes think that, Stephen A., we do not give the respect to the Milwaukee Bucks that they deserve. People did it to them last year, and we had to go see Giannis get all the way to a World Championship Series to give you a 50-point triple-double, essentially, before they got that respect. And all of a sudden, it seems like this year, we're still not giving them the respect. And I don't know what we're missing with the team. If that's Chris Middleton the other night going off for a huge game, Giannis being in the MVP conversation, I know it may not be to the same degree that Joel Embiid or Jokic or what Ja Morant is doing, right, or DeMar DeRozan in Chicago, but all of a sudden it's like we don't look at Milwaukee anymore like they actually matter. Like we just lose sight because Boston is playing the best basketball now. I'm still looking at the world champions as the team to be, along with Philadelphia. So I get that Philly could be in that conversation. I can't put Brooklyn in that conversation because I don't know who Brooklyn's going to be at full strength, but I know I can give my respect and my praise to the team that won a world championship last year.
Well, my response to you would be you need to watch First Take more because I've spoken on Milwaukee many, many times, and I understand that they're arguably one of the teams to beat. Here's the thing that you got to appreciate. See, sometimes when you're a champion, you lose sight of how people talk about you and how people feel about you because they don't say much. And I'm not surprised you miss it because you're a champion, and so you're not paying attention to those that's on the come up. You know, because you're at the top of the heap. We'll see you when it's time. That's the champion's mentality, and you can tell me if I'm wrong if you want to, but you know I'm right about that. A champion like yourself, it's like we here. We ain't worried about nobody else. We ain't worried about it. We'll see you when you get here. But the same thing applies to the fans. Like, for example, they beat Phoenix this past Sunday, right? Middleton drops 44. He been struggling all year. He dropped 44, all right? Drew Holiday, we know how he can defend. Everybody's sleeping on the fact that the brother averaging over 20 and hitting 50 better than 50% from the field and 40% from three-point range. The brother been balling. We look at Bobby Portis, who I think is just a sleeper. This brother can play. And he's got size, and he helps your front line, not to mention he can step out beyond the three-point line and hit. And this is what cats like Connaughton out and stuff like that. And, of course, Giannis. So what happens is we see Milwaukee getting everybody's A game. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're there. We know they're going to be there when it counts, and you're going to have to deal with them, and you're going to have to go through them. So what we're focused on are those coming for them. And we're saying, who's got a chance to knock off the champions? Because the champions ebb and flow because they've been there and they understand what it takes. Just like when LeBron was in Cleveland. There was sometimes they were high, there was sometimes they low. We knew they were going to be there when it counted. You were going to have to go through LeBron in Cleveland. But you didn't see stuff during the regular season consistently from them because they're getting everybody's A game and they're pacing themselves. Same thing's applicable to Milwaukee. We're not disrespecting them. We're simply saying they're the champions. They know what it takes. They're waiting. Who can knock them off? Who is the team that can really, really make some noise against them? And when I look at Boston, all I'm saying is Boston's on the outside of the four looking in. They're the bottom four, not top four. But I look at them as a team that can knock off anybody in the top four because of how they defend.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
And that can't be ignored.
I just
Last
think
word
during
here.
the regular season is one thing. I have seen Boston shrink when it comes to the playoffs. So I'm curious to see
That's
what
right.
playoff
Yeah.
team
Sure.
this will be when that moment comes.
If it carries over.
New
But
day,
for the
new system, new coach.
For sure.
New
For
day,
the
new
first
system, new
time,
coach.
Our
Hope so.
analytics have the Celtics winning the East. How about that? But you'll be back because we got
Wow.
a showdown
Wow.
in Philly to decide.